Ready? Good morning, students. Here we start with the gross anatomy lecture of the ligaments of liver. A very important topic, ligaments of liver. We divide the ligaments into two parts, the true ligaments and the peritoneal folds, or they are called the false ligaments. So they are called the false ligaments or peritoneal folds and true ligaments. So which are the false ligaments or peritoneal folds? The false ligaments or peritoneal folds will be here, number 1, falciform ligament, keep on writing, number 2, coronary ligament, number 3, the right triangular ligament, number 4, the left triangular ligament, and number 5, we come across to lesser omentum. So these 5 ligaments are false ligaments, or they are called peritoneal folds. True ligaments, they are 2 in number. Number 1, ligamentum teres hepatis, either it is called ligamentum teres or it is called ligamentum teres hepatis. Number 2, it is called ligamentum venosum. So therefore, these two are the true ligaments. Now, each and every ligament we have to discuss. So first we discuss the falciform ligament. For the falciform ligament, we draw, this is the anterior superior, the anterior view of the liver rather. So the anterior view of the liver, this is superior surface, this is the inferior border. Here we will draw the ligament, is in green color, I will draw, and this is the falciform ligament. Superiorly here, it will then divide into, on this side, right side, it will be the coronary ligament. It will continue as the coronary ligament, superior layer of coronary ligament. And on the left side, this is the left side, where it will be the triangular ligament. So in this way, you have to draw the left triangular ligament. So this much is the anterior surface of the liver, in which we shall note down here, this is the falciform ligament. Over here, coronary ligament. Over here, the left triangular ligament. It is triangular in shape. So these are the ligaments which are visible from the anterior side. Very simple. Now here, this is the inferior free margin of falciform ligament, and within this inferior free margin of falciform ligament, you draw here, this will be the ligamentum teres hepatis. It will carry this ligamentum teres hepatis within this inferior free margin. So therefore here we are going to mark this as ligamentum teres, this structure over here, because it is a remnant of left umbilical vein. Now here, after drawing this anterior surface, the second diagram will be the posterior surface, in which we will show the entire posterior surface including its superior and inferior part of the liver. Next diagram. And based on these two diagrams, we are going to discuss the entire, all the ligaments. It is very easy to understand. So therefore now, if we come on this side, please come on this side. Now here, what we are going to draw will be the liver that we see from the posterior surface. Rather, it is posterior inferior surface. Now this segment here, I should make it more broad, so I will draw it in this way. So here, this is the posterior superior surface of the liver. Now here, the ligament, we straight away start with the ligament, the falciform ligament that is coming from superior side. This is the falciform ligament, it is double layered. Now here what you need to show will be on the right side, it will be superior layer of coronary ligament, where it will cover the bare area of lever, right triangular ligament. It will form this as the right triangular ligament. This will be the inferior surface of coronary ligament, and then it will pass above, where it will form the right margin of caudate lobe. Here there will be caudate lobe, and then after furnishing this caudate lobe, it will pass here down, and at this level what we need to show will be the porta hepatis. So therefore we are going to show the porta hepatis here, and then we are going to continue above. Now these ligaments which I am drawing will explain it to you. So this much we have to draw. Now here markings will be, this is the porta hepatis. Please mark this as porta hepatis. Similarly, please mark this structure here as the caudate lobe. Similarly, at this level we are going to show the ligamentum teres. So this structure which we are marking on the posterior inferior surface will be ligamentum teres. Over here, this structure, please mark it as ligamentum venosum. So these are the two true ligaments of liver, ligamentum venosum and the ligamentum teres. This is porta hepatis, caudate lobe. Similarly, at this site, we are going to show the gallbladder. So therefore, here we just need to show the gallbladder, the outline of the gallbladder. Rather, you can give some color here. This will be the gallbladder exactly. Now, keeping in mind these two diagrams, it will be very easy to understand. So therefore, here we will mark this as gallbladder. Now, after marking this, this is quadrate lobe. Quadrate lobe, quadrate lobe. Now here, this will be the bare area, and this structure, this will be the right triangular ligament. Please draw this structure as the right triangular ligament. Over here, superior layer of coronary ligament, and over here, this structure, this will be, it will be known as inferior layer of coronary ligament. Very simple. This structure over here is known as falciform ligament, which is coming from anterior side, and over here this structure will be known as the left triangular ligament. So this is the left triangular ligament, and that is the right triangular ligament. This is the posterior inferior surface of liver, entire posterior surface of liver, including its inferior surface. Keeping in mind this posterior inferior surface and the structures over here, now the first ligament. So the first ligament will be, now if we just move here, the first ligament, we are starting from falciform ligament, the first peritoneal fold, false ligament. It is double layered, please note down, and it will, now if you consider this anterior surface, it will be attaching the liver with that of the anterior abdominal wall, and it will be continuous with the anterior abdominal wall with the under surface of diaphragm. That means under surface of diaphragm, anterior abdominal wall and umbilicus will have a convex attachment. From that convex attachment of under surface of diaphragm, anterior abdominal wall till umbilicus, the two layers will pass on the anterior superior surface of liver and will be attached on anterior superior surface of liver. These two ligaments will be known as falciform ligament. So therefore, it is a sickle shaped fold. Convex will be attached to the anterior abdominal wall and diaphragm, and concave fold, the concave margin will be attached to anterior superior surface of liver. So it is simply a double layered peritoneal fold which will connect the anterior superior surface of lever with that of the diaphragm and anterior abdominal wall. The inferior border of the falciform ligament, will be free border, and in that border there will be presence of ligamentum teres hepatis. So ligamentum teres will be lodged within the inferior border of falciform ligament. Now this falciform ligament, as it is attached on the lever, it will split into two layers, the right and the left. Similarly, the right and the left layers will be continuous with, the right layer will be continuous with the superior layer of coronary ligament, and the left layer will be continuous with the left triangular ligament, as you see in the diagram. Simple. Now, contents of falciform ligament. For the falciform ligament, you need to mention the contents. Attachments are very clear as per the diagram. Contents will be, now here I am going to write content number 1, falciform ligament. Please note down, these are asked as MCQs or one more question answer. There will be, in the falciform ligament, there will be presence of the para-umbilical veins. Now, para-umbilical veins are the tributaries of the left branch of portal vein. So, this is content number 1, presence of para-umbilical veins within the falciform ligament. Content number 2, there will be presence of the accessory portal system of SAPI. So, you have to note down the accessory portal system of SAPI. Now, this accessory portal system of SAPI will connect the left branch of portal vein, that is para-umbilical vein, with that of the, it will connect with that of the diaphragmatic veins. So therefore, it will function, accessory portal system of SAPI, where it connects the para-umbilical veins with diaphragmatic veins, will function as portosystemic anastomosis. And third content of falciform ligament will be what you see here. Already we have marked ligamentum teres. So ligamentum teres will function as the third content of falciform ligament. Remember, once again I repeat, these contents are asked in MCQs or one mark question answer. That much important it is. So falciform ligament is over. So once again we come to this diagram. We have finished the falciform ligament. Now coronary ligament. So we discussed the coronary ligament. Again, once again we come to this diagram. Coronary ligament once again will be a double layered like falciform ligament. So like falciform ligament, it will be of two layers, coronary ligament. Here we are able to see superior layer of coronary ligament from anterior view of lever. If we come on this diagram, please come on this side, we are able to see on posterior superior surface, very simple, do not complicate, posterior superior surface of lever here. This is posterior inferior surface of lever, this is posterior superior surface of lever. So coronary ligament will be split into two layers. It is double layered, superior layer of coronary ligament, inferior layer of coronary ligament. Already we have marked superior layer, inferior layer, we have marked. Now, the superior layer of coronary ligament will be parieto-visceral layer because it will be attached to the parietes, that is parietal body wall, that means it is attached to diaphragm and it is attached to the liver. So parieto-visceral layer. Inferior layer, it is called intervisceral layer, from viscera to viscera, because it will attach from liver to the right kidney. So it is also called hepatorenal ligament. Inferior layer of coronary ligament will be known as hepatorenal ligament, from the liver to the right kidney. So it is called intervisceral ligament. Very simple, do not complicate. Now the tracings, you need to trace, you need to understand. What are the tracings? The superior layer of coronary ligament, if you start from here, it is continuous with the falciform ligament. Which side of falciform ligament, right or left? Right. So the right layer of falciform ligament will continue as superior layer of coronary ligament, which will cover the bare area of the liver. And then it will form the right triangular ligament. After forming the right triangular ligament, it will continue as the inferior layer of coronary ligament. This inferior layer of coronary ligament will form the right margin of caudate lobe. This is right, this is left. So this is caudate lobe, the right margin of caudate lobe. And then it will be continuous with the ligamentum venosum. So it will merge here. Similarly, over here there is a small impression. Now that impression, if I draw, this will be the inferior vena cava. So therefore, this is the inferior vena cava. Our inferior layer of coronary ligament will form the right margin of caudate lobe, as well as it will be present on the left edge of inferior vena cava. Simple, very simple. So here these are the tracings of superior and inferior layer of coronary ligament. Now contents. For the contents of coronary ligament, I am going to mention the contents over here. Content number 1, superior, the coronary ligament. So in the coronary ligament, what are the contents of coronary ligament? Content number 1, there will be presence of right inferior phrenic artery. Please note down the right inferior phrenic artery, content number 1. Content number 2, the right suprarenal gland. This is content number 2. And content number 3 will be the right kidney, upper pole of the right kidney. So these are the 3 contents. So therefore, kidney and suprarenal gland, this will be the position of suprarenal gland, the right side, and the kidney, this will be the position of the right kidney. This is suprarenal. So suprarenal and right kidney, these are the impressions. You will get a fair idea that these structures will form the contents of the coronary ligament. So contents are over. MCQs, 1 mark question answer. 3 contents of coronary ligament. Very simple. We have finished falciform ligament and its contents and coronary ligament and its contents. Now please come back here. So now, right triangular ligament, the third ligament. Very simple, only one sentence. What will be that sentence if we come on this side, where my finger is there? The right triangular ligament is a peritoneal fold or false ligament which connects the right lateral surface of liver with that of diaphragm. Very simple, nothing to mention. So once again, we have finished the right triangular ligament. Now the left triangular ligament. Now this left triangular ligament, we need to understand the tracings. So please come on this side, where my finger is there. Concentrate here. Now the left triangular ligament, it will start and connect the left superior surface of the liver with that of the diaphragm. And this left triangular ligament will have the left end and the right end. The left end, first the left triangular ligament will consist of 2 layers. Please note down, the left triangular ligament consists of 2 layers. So therefore, on the left side, the 2 layers will join with each other. You can see the 2 layers of left triangular ligament have joined with each other on the left side. What about the right side? On the right side, these 2 layers have split into upper layer, lower layer. So the upper layer will continue, where my finger is there, with the left layer of falciform ligament. This is falciform ligament. This is the left layer of falciform ligament. This is the right layer of falciform ligament. We know that the right layer of falciform ligament will continue with superior layer of coronary ligament, and the left layer of falciform ligament will continue as the left triangular ligament. Simple. Now we come here. The lower part of the left triangular ligament will continue downwards as ligamentum venosum. So the lower layer of left triangular ligament will continue as ligamentum venosum. And it will form the anterior layer or upper part of lesser omentum, because lesser omentum will be attached over here. 4. Always note down the lower layer of left triangular ligament will form the ligamentum venosum, upper part of ligamentum venosum, as well as it will form the anterior layer of lesser omentum, because lesser omentum we will see it will be attached here. So this much is the left triangular ligament. Now please come on this side. Left triangular ligament is over. Now we come to the very important lesser omentum. This is the last of the ligaments of the peritoneal folds or false ligament. Now in this lesser omentum, please come on this side here. The lesser omentum is J-shaped. It will be in the form of this structure, J-shaped. This lesser omentum will be attached to, on one side it is attached to the lesser curvature of stomach and proximal 2.5 cm of duodenum on one side. Lesser curvature of stomach including the proximal 2.5 cm of duodenum. And on other side it will be attached to ligamentum venosum, the fissure for ligamentum venosum and porta hepatis. That means if I outline with red color, you will understand the J-shaped. Why it is J-shaped? It is because of this. See here. This is where the ligamentum, the lesser omentum is attached. This is how the lesser omentum is attached. Vertical limb is attached into the, where my fingers are there, the vertical limb of the J-shape is attached in the fissure for ligamentum venosum. And the horizontal limb will be attached to the margins of porta hepatis. Very simple. So vertical limb into the fissure for ligamentum venosum and horizontal limb into the margins of porta hepatis. So this attachment will be lesser omentum. Very simple. Now contents of lesser omentum, they are very important. They are very much asked in MCQs. So here I will write the contents. Please come on this side. I am having a empty space here. Lesser omentum contents will be, number 1, there will be anastomosis of right and left gastric vessels. So anastomosis of between right and left gastric vessels. Please note down this correctly. It is the anastomosis between the right and the left gastric vessels. Content number 1 in lesser omentum. Content number 2 in the lesser omentum. There will be presence of gastric nerves. So gastric nerves, content number 2. Then content number 3. In the upper free margin of lesser omentum, there will be content number 3, portal vein. Then content number 4, portal vein, hepatic artery, and content number 5, bile duct. And content number 6, hepatic plexus of nerves. So these contents, portal vein, hepatic artery, bile duct and hepatic plexus of nerves, they are contents of lesser omentum but present in which part? In the free margin. And the upper two contents, anastomosis between the right and the left gastric vessels and the gastric nerves, these two are present where? At the margin of lesser omentum, that is the inferior margin of lesser omentum, at the lesser curvature of stomach. So at the upper two contents will be present at the level of lesser curvature of stomach, and the lower 4 contents, portal vein, hepatic artery, bile duct and hepatic plexus of nerves, will be present in the upper free margin of lesser omentum. So altogether there are 6 contents of lesser omentum. Frequently asked MCQ or 1 mark question answer. Please note down. Now please come on this side. We have finished the peritoneal folds or false ligaments. Now the two true ligaments. The first true ligament is ligamentum teres hepatis. Simply note down, this is very important. These are asked in MCQs or 1 mark question answer. Now ligamentum teres hepatis is a Please note down, it is a remnant of, ligamentum teres is a remnant of obliterated left umbilical vein. Please note down, it is a remnant of obliterated left umbilical vein. This is asked in 1 mark question answer MCQ. Where is it present? It is present in the free margin of the falciform ligament. Where and what it will connect? It will connect umbilicus with the left branch of portal vein. It is connecting the umbilicus with the left branch of portal vein, because in the fetal stage it carries pure blood from the placenta to the fetus. So it will connect the umbilicus to the left branch of portal vein, and it is a remnant of obliterated part of left umbilical vein, ligamentum teres. Then we come to ligamentum venosum. That is the second true ligament. The first true ligament, ligamentum teres hepatis, and the second true ligament of liver is ligamentum venosum. It is the remnant of obliterated part of, note down, ductus venosus. So it is a remnant of obliterated part of ductus venosus, and it will connect. Now this is asked in 1 mark question answer or in MCQ. What it connects? It connects the left branch of portal vein with that of the either inferior vena cava or the left hepatic vein, or it will connect the left hepatic vein. So please note down, therefore the ligamentum venosum, which is a remnant of obliterated part of the ductus venosus, will connect the left branch of portal vein with that of inferior vena cava, or left branch of portal vein with that of the left hepatic vein. So here we finish all the ligaments of liver. Thank you very much.